Well, this is the first time this season on the show we've had to talk about a loss. And the loss is to Ohio State, and I imagine very disappointing to you and your players.
Well, you know, when you work so hard for something and you play so well and then you don't win the game, why, as for myself, I really feel that perhaps there's something that I could have done to win the game for those guys, because I was tremendously proud of our team.
Did you think of anything since the
Well,
game?
I tried to think of everything that I could to pull it out, and of course I felt we were in command right up until the end. And the last drive, when they tied the score, it was a decision that we had to make, whether we were going to play it conservatively or whether we would take our chances and try to pull it out. And we had decided going into the game that we would play to win regardless, and because a tie wouldn't have helped us in this game except for another co-championship, and frankly we wanted more than that.
You surprised the, quote, experts, unquote, as both teams came out and threw the ball.
Well, I think first of all, in the game, we felt that they would throw because they had been doing it quite a bit all year. And our strategy, of course, was to throw the ball a little bit more than we have, because we do have a little more confidence in our passing game. And one thing that maybe you didn't recognize is that Ohio State, I don't believe, really felt that they could stop us with their basic defenses, and they went to a 5-3 with Griffin in the middle, which is something they hadn't used for the 7 years that we've been playing them since I've been at Michigan. So they tried something new, and it did confuse us some, and we had more bad plays than we're normally accustomed to having. And I think that hurt us some as well.
But they did not stop your rushing game very much in the entire game.
No, we rushed real well. Of course, we have two great rushers back there, in my opinion, in Lytle and Bell, and I thought Bell was just sensational all afternoon, and just a great, great performance.
The way the game started out, though, there were some Michigan fans pretty worried about the way things were going, because Ohio State got on the move right away and did very well.
Well, Griffin here, of course, throwing to Griffin coming out of the backfield, and that had to be a great play by Griffin, because we were right there to meet him.
Yeah.
Here's a play we lost the containment on, but we thought we had a fumble there, and but the official on the other side indicated we didn't.
This is a 4th and 1 play.
4th and 1 play, and this is a tough play. You know, when you measure that, it's either or, depending on where they spot the ball. And this is a fullback delay coming out of the backfield. They never used that play before, and they scored a touchdown with it. Here's Bell on a power sweep, breaking a tackle and coming to the backside and running as only Gordon Bell can, and beats a tackler here, and 43-yard gain on a great run, individual effort by Bell. Not particularly a great play, but
mistake cost you here, though.
This cost us a bad read, and the ball probably should not have been pitched out at all, and so Bell was in bad shape because he was out there with a defensive man and nobody to block him. Here's a broken play by Ohio State, and he puts the ball up in the air, and Don Dufek intercepts it for us. It was intended for their tight end, but we had plays like that all afternoon defensively. This is a great post cut to Keith Johnson, a tremendous little football player who had one of his great days with 3 spectacular catches for us. And
but that drive died there when the ball was hit a little bit.
Well, this ball shouldn't have, he was under a little bit of pressure and probably shouldn't have been thrown out there, and it didn't have a lot of steam on it, and obviously was intercepted. This is Bell again making a great cut at the line of scrimmage and coming out for a good gain, and I thought he was the best back on the field, with Lytle close with him. This is a bad play by Rick, our quarterback, on a ball that he should have either hung on to or pitched out to Rob Lytle.
But they just kept coming back in that first half.
Great catch here by Johnson on a post cut back to the other side, and he did a great job of reading the defensive secondary and coming up with that ball. Here's a scramble play that I thought he threw it too, but fortunately he didn't, and kept it and ran with the ball. This play is another great catch by Johnson of a pass that
Here's a play we haven't seen
going.
too much of this year.
Well, this is the first time we've used it. Gordon Bell on a spectacular catch by Jim Smith that ties the score at 7-all. And at this point in the game, just before the half, I felt we were in control, and we kicked off and they fumbled the ball, and we missed a field goal that could have helped us a great deal, because that would have meant a 17-7 ball game rather than a 14-7. But that's one of those things you can't count on the field goals, because You just can't make them all.
That catch by Smith, you commented on it. He caught the back half of that ball. That was going through his hands when it was...
That's something that we learned to expect out of Jim. He's made some of the most spectacular catches I've ever seen. No one can leap with him. No one has a better or bigger pair of hands than Jimmy Smith.
That's the first half of the ball game. Of course, the ball game was wrapped up in the fourth quarter, and we'll take a look at that when we return in just a moment. Third quarter, not much happened. You held Ohio State without a first down. Couldn't really move the ball too much yourself, but then the fourth quarter, everything happened, I guess.
Well, the fourth quarter was big, and all the excitement was saved for that. And
super defensive effort.
Our defense was in command from the second half on, and here we had them backed in down there, and they tried to run out, and our defense dominated, and they finally kicked on third down, and we got control and started a drive of our own, hit a couple passes, and then Lytle breaks a 11-yarder up the middle, and Leach rolls out here and hits Jimmy Smith down there just short of the first down. And then when we're down with the first down on Leach sneaks in, and we score the touchdown to go ahead.
A little excitement along the bench at this time.
Well, at this point in the game, with our defense playing so well, we felt we were in control, and here we had Green under extreme pressure, and an interception here would have ended the ball game or any chance of their winning. And here on the third down situation, he hits Baschnagel over in the corner, and Dufek just misses getting in there, and that 17-yard gain got him out of trouble and gave them an opportunity to keep their drive alive. This pass, I thought Green did a tremendous job even getting it off, and he hit Willis for the first down here, and then here's really Archie's only run of the second half, an 11-yard tailback draw play.
They get some good blocking out in front of Green on this one.
Right, this one we didn't get scraped off in here, and they, although our end forced him inside, we didn't get any inside pressure, and he got going.
You stopped the big guy 3 times.
This is fourth down right here. Yeah. This was a fourth down play. We stopped him in there, and they got in.
Like you said before, now you had 14-14 at this point. You went for the victory.
We decided to go for the victory, meaning we're going to gamble and throw the ball, which we did. And unfortunately, if we'd have waited just a little longer and thrown that ball in the hole on the other side, we'd have been all right. But it was picked off here, and they get their winning touchdown. But I don't know. I don't know whether I'd feel any. I don't know whether I'd feel any better sitting here, or my team would feel any better 14-14 and not going after it than going after the victory. And I'm sure we could have come in with a tie, but I'm not sure that's the way we wanted to go.
Did you change anything in that final drive that was so successful for Ohio State? Pass defense, for example. He had only completed 4 passes up until that point he connected with Baschnagel.
Right. Well, actually, to be honest with you, we don't have a tremendous respect for their passing attack. I think he's an adequate passer. I think his greatest suit is he can avoid the rush. And he did that extremely well, because I think there were several occasions where we could have sacked him back there, but he's so quick, and we just were not able to do it. And the passes that they hit, as you could see, the guys were making good catches and everything. I wouldn't change our strategy one bit. I thought our defensive strategy was excellent. I thought our defensive team played tremendous football all afternoon. And I think our offensive team really gave a great effort, except I think we could have done a better job in adjusting to the 5-3 defense that we had not seen before. And I'm sure their strategy was that being a tremendously young offensive team at quarterback and tight end and in the guard positions, that we wouldn't adjust quite as quickly, and they just gave us too many bad plays. I think our offense can move on them. I think our offense can move on anybody, but they did give us some bad plays, and I think that's the thing that kept us from scoring more.
You didn't back the defensive backs up then and play prevent and try to stop the long pass, because it seemed that they were completing the...
Well, that's true. Well, actually, there are only really the 2 passes to Willis after the hit to Baschnagel. And really, from that standpoint, I thought we played a little bit too soft, maybe, once they got into our territory, because I felt they were going to run a little more. And the 2 runs, one by Griffin and
11 and 12 yards.
Yeah, those 2 runs, I think I'd like to have had to shut those off a little better. And we could have if we wanted to, because we did it all afternoon.
Yeah.
But we played a little too much pass.
Well, the next problem for you, usually you can sit down and there are no problems until next year, but now you have your hands full with Oklahoma and an Orange Bowl bid.
Well, Oklahoma is, as you know, is a preseason bet to win the national title hands down. I think they're perhaps the best football team in the country today. I think they've got the greatest personnel of any team that we have seen. And believe it or not, we had coaches out there spring practice this year and looked at their football and got some ideas from them. But I don't think that's going to help us beat them. But my coaches tell me that they are as fine a personnel team as they've ever seen.
There are people calling that perhaps the best matchup of any of the bowls so far.
Well, we'd like to think so, although that's secondary to us right now. But you know, our players, I'm sure, are down and dejected after that loss because we played well enough to win and should have won. And but that's one of those things. So we'll take a little time off and then start thinking about playing Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl. And if I know my football team and the dedication that they've had all year long and the great character of that team, they'll come back to play again as they always have.
All right.